talking.
Yes, don't worry, I can introduce myself. Like, hi everyone. Most of you know me, but for those who don't, I am Nara and I do paid ads. Mostly on Google. This is why you will always see like, oh, she's a Google Ads specialist. I am, but I also work with other platforms. I'm in the marketing world. What I do is usually known as a 360 media buyer, which is a fancy name to say I know all the platforms and I usually use them interchangeably. So today we are going to talk about, yes, paid media, but I'm going to run a quick overview of what is this thing, what is this monster, how do you use it, and most importantly, how do you get started without losing your money and all that like backs up your business. So let's go with what is, oh my God, my handwriting. What is PPC? So paid media, Google Ads, Facebook Ads is usually known as PPC. PPC just means pay per click advertising. Advertising. And the secret of PPC is in here, in pay-per-click. This advertising is just an auction. So you create ads, or your ads manager creates ads, uploads it to a platform, and the platform conducts a bid. And the highest, like the winner, gets the best position. But this is not your regular Sotheby's auction. This is not the place where you go with $1 million and you buy a little monet. No, this is an unfair auction because at Sotheby's, people don't like take or reject your bids based on how you look or how you speak or your background. Like in theory, that should not happen. It's only money. Money speaks. If you have $10 million and you outbid someone who is bidding for 5, you won. On Google, it's not like this. In any platform, it's not like this. It's not only how much you're willing to spend, but also the quality of your website, the quality of your product, what people think about you, how you look, how is your SEO working. There are like, at the very least, 100 ranking factors that affect or have some sort of implication in the auction. And the kicker is that you as an advertiser, you don't know those factors. Like Google tells you, we will rank you on the quality of your ads, the quality of your website, the quality of the relevance of your offer. But those are not the only 3 things you get ranked with. Like those are not the only 3 things your competitors are trying to outbid you. There are a little, like a dozen, hundreds, whatever factors that you as an advertiser don't necessarily control. So this is where most people get lost in translation because they start running the ads, they don't see results, and they think, oh, it's because I'm not spending. Not necessarily. It could be a host of situations that you have to like look at it carefully. So the fact that PPC is a pay-per-click advertising system gives us three cues as how this thing works. First, it's a pay-to-play system. You don't pay, you don't play. So pay to play. Second, it means that it will never be cheap. Sorry, it's just the way it is. It will never be cheap because the main cost of an ad, which is the cost per click and eventually cost per acquisition, are always increasing. They increase like any other price with inflation. They increase with demand. They increase with the amount of competitors. If you did pay advertising back in 2008, it was dirt cheap. Like a cost per click was like 0.08 cents of dollar. And that is like an industry average. Today, the cost per click is around $3. And that is just the cost for someone clicking on your ad. That doesn't mean that this person who clicked on your ad is going to convert. That is another cost, the cost per acquisition, and usually these benchmarks work for each industry. The industry I work most with, which is financial, insurance, and anything that has to do with finances and real estate, sometimes the cost per acquisition can be as high as $200. So if you have a cost per acquisition of $200, but you're only willing to pay $20 per month on your ads, that is not going to work because all your competitors are paying way, way, way more than you. So that's just for reference. Now, let's go to the next part. How do you make this thing work? Like, if you want to start advertising right now, today, after this call, what do you have to do? And this is where part 2 comes in. And you have to keep in mind one thing. PPC platforms are amplifiers of your message. This means that whatever you're doing right now to attract clients, like the way your website looks, the way your online assets look, you're just going to expand on that. Ads don't have the magic capacity to create demand where there is none. And that is very, very important to understand as new advertisers. I've met a lot of people, I've met a lot of businesses who don't have a validated offer. They don't know if their thing, if their service, if their product is going to sell. They don't know. So they hope, their expectation is that somehow by plugging their offers into Google Ads or into Meta, into Bing, whatever, they are going to get sales out of thin air. That is that is the wrong way to approach it, because if you haven't made a sale on a product or service on your own, based on referrals or social media, organic posts, or email marketing, or even just the old, nice, and tested way of like offering something to someone you know in a market or something. If you haven't done sales that way, if you haven't sold anything, the likelihood that you know exactly what will trigger people to buy your product is very, very low. Like, you won't know what kind of message you need to convert someone into a customer. So that is very important. Before you even decide to run advertising, pay-per-click advertising, you need to be 100% sure that your offer is something people are willing to buy. Have you had past clients? That is the best validation. If you already have like a regular bank of clients and they keep repeating and they keep buying your services at your price point, like your current price point, that just means there are more people out there who match the profile of your existing clients. Therefore, I can go and find them with my ads. If I don't have clients and if I'm starting, then PPC can be an excellent way to test your offer. Like, can your ads attract the right people? If they can't, what has to be tweaked at the offer level? What has to be tweaked at the messaging level to make these more relevant for everyone, so you get more sales and more conversions? That is the most important thing. Once you have covered that, if you know that your offer is validated, if you know that your offer is something people want, then step 2 is to get clear on your funnel, your marketing funnel. And this is another thing that most business owners don't do. And this is the most typical scenario where like dollars get burned. Most people open their ad accounts, they create the first campaign that the platform prompts them to like create, either a sales campaign, a lead gen campaign, a conversion campaign. They do everything, they adjust the bids, they plug in the money, they plug in their billing details, they press play. Maybe 2 days go by, and suddenly you realize on the third day that the campaign has spent all your money, hasn't generated any results, and you don't understand what you're seeing. Like, what are these columns? What does this mean? Like, and you're maybe seeing some error messages if you're using Google Ads, like telling you like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and you're like, okay, let's do it. And you click accept all suggestions, and then you accept everything, and suddenly you are not just spending $20 per day. Suddenly you're spending $120 per day, and you're like, whoa, what happened here? What happened is that you did the number one mistake that most small advertisers do, which is they target, this is a marketing funnel. This is the bottom of the funnel, which is filled with people who are willing to convert. This is the middle of the funnel, where most people are aware of a problem, of a service, of a product, but they are not in the mindset of shopping. And this is the top of the funnel, where people are just like existing without necessarily being aware of what is the problem. This is a broad simplification. There are like so many levels in between, but in general, we have these three stages. Most advertisers, when they start running ads without knowing their funnel, they go straight to the bottom, sorry. They plug the keywords, they plug the message, the ads, the videos, and they target people who are willing to buy. And that is not a bad thing. That is how you should do it. The problem is that you and everyone else is doing that. Like, if you are a new business, who knows you besides your close friends and your list of clients that is maybe not huge? Like, who knows who Nara is as a paid media manager? You ladies know me, but outside of this circle, like, who knows what I do in like the big scheme of things? No one. I have my brand awareness is very low. I need to work on that. So if I plug an ad today, and if I start selling ad management services to people who need ad management services, most people are going to be like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like, your services make sense, but why should I hire you? I don't know you. I don't trust you. Probably I don't even like you. Why should I hire you? No, I'm going to hire my buddy Tommy, who has an agency, and I've known his dad from the last 25 years. And there goes my money. And it's the same thing for everyone else, for every other advertiser. If you are an e-com service, if you provide, if you sell beauty products to young women, yes, maybe your products are amazing, maybe your prices are incredible, but if no one knows what the product does, if you don't have reviews, if you don't have user content, user-generated content, if you are not big on Instagram, yes, you can make people buy your beauty products, and maybe you will see some sales, but it's going to be tough. Your cost per click is going to be high. Your cost per acquisition is going to be uber high. And probably you won't have that many repeat clients. Like, you will be relying on the same strain strategy every single month. So what should a new advertiser do if they want to start ads, to run ads right away? Well, instead of going BOFU, instead of going right away to the bottom of the funnel, they should go to the top of the funnel. Why? Because in the top of the funnel, where most of us, we are in top of the funnel. Like for products we don't know, products we know, but we are not willing to buy, we are some sort of top of the funnel audience. Like we are generally aware of the existence of many brands, and maybe we interact with them in social media, but we are not willing to buy right away. So if these brands are smart, they will create ads. They will create video ads at the top of the funnel, and they will make us engage with them just by watching the video, by liking on something, by commenting on something. That is a paid media campaign. It's essentially like ghosting or becoming a double of an organic social media campaign, but with paid budget, so proposed by paid budget. And once you have that, once you have engagement, once you know people like you, are following you back on Instagram, are commenting on your post, are, I don't know, visiting your website, you are generating brand awareness. And these campaigns are like 60% cheaper than what a BOFU campaign is. At the top of the funnel, you need, at the very least, and these are general numbers, it can vary from one company to another, at the very least, you need $600 per month. And this is assuming you have a great website, you already have a validated offer, you already have a list of customers, like you have done everything that needed to be done before hitting paid advertising. You're just like at the point where you have the money to leverage that. If you don't have that, if you're starting out, $600, I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds like a lot of money. So would I be willing to invest $600, not being sure if I will be able to get returns on that? I don't know. I wouldn't do it personally. I would prefer to invest those $600 in 3 months of a video campaign to generate awareness. And we can talk about the specifics of that video campaign later, if you will. But 3 months of a video campaign that generates awareness doesn't pull people to buy. It's not a salesy campaign. It's just awareness. Will pay off because eventually I will get the data from these campaigns and I will use them for sales. So once I know people are visiting my website, reading my thing, downloading my freebie, whatever, I can retarget them through sales campaigns. And that is going to make everything cheaper, which is the goal of paid advertising. We can get people to buy at a cheaper cost per click, a cheaper cost per acquisition, and having relevant ads being shown like all the time. That is a goal. That is a dream. It is completely possible. It just requires some strategy and some level of trust in your ads manager, in your campaign manager. And a good campaign manager should be able to like explain this to you upfront without any like, oh, this is something that you wouldn't understand. No, it's not hard to understand this. It's just numbers. It's math. It's projections. If you understand those things, paid advertising shouldn't be that complicated. And that is it. That is it for now. If you have, I'm sure you have questions. So if you have questions, comments, whatnot, let me know. I'll stay here, of course.
Nara, I'm going to start with the question that I asked you before everybody came on, or not the question, but what I mentioned to you. So we always hear that you should, as business owners, invest in paid advertising. And the problem is a lot of people don't want to pay for it. They try to do it on their own. And I'm sure a lot of people here could relate to that. Like, I'm sure all of us, after we get off this call, we're going to make a video and plug into Facebook ads and say, okay, well, Nara said if we make a video and put it in sponsored ads, we're going to get a lot of clients. What do you say to those people?
You can definitely do it. That is possible, but the thing with paid advertising is that there are too many factors, too many numbers, too many dashboards to see. And if you are not doing this out of a love for ads, because you really want to understand how Google uses algorithms and AI to rank things, and it's amazing and it's fascinating. If you are not in love with this, you will get overwhelmed pretty easily, because these platforms, yes, some of them are a little bit more intuitive to use, and others, like our friend Google Ads, oh my God, like there is so much information in one single screen. It's like, what the hell am I looking at? Like, I don't understand. If you don't know what to look for, you won't be able to like find your way. Like, yes, you can take courses and stuff, but just like a heads up, like having worked on this thing for like a couple of years now, all keep in mind that all these platforms, they make business out of you. Like, they want you to pay for their ads. That's their goal. That's how they generate 80% of the revenue from advertisers. It's not in their best interest to have to give you results. Like, all they want to do is to make you pay. So Google it's very well known for this. They will push suggestions, they will push recommendations that don't necessarily improve performance for your ads, but they make the ads expensive. So therefore, you end up using all your budget with very little returns. And I understand why paying someone to manage might feel like, oh, it's a lot of money. But keep in mind that one campaign that is done as it should, can have extraordinary returns. And just for reference, I'm just working right now with one client who has invested around $3,000 in ad spend. And she's in the middle of a launch. She's a coach. Her launch, we managed to generate 480 registrations for her webinar in 5 days. And she's selling a high ticket product that is well above the 5K mark. So let's say that out of this, and because I like these numbers, I like showing this. Let's say that out of 380 registrants, 4 people, and this is being just mediocre, 4 people buy her product, which is 5K. We are seeing a return of $25,000 for 4 people who converted. She spent 3,000, which is the ad spend, and the management fees are around 1,500. So all in all, she got I'm terrible with math. Yeah, not going to do it right now, but you get the idea. Like, she might be getting, and this is just minimal, if she gets 4 clients, she has $25,000 in revenue. It's not profit because she has to take out the ad spend and the management fee, but on her own, she wouldn't have done this because she knows nothing about Excel. Like, she doesn't know how to use Excel. Like, just that in itself will have been a challenge. And this is a mediocre, like I said, conversion rate. Imagine if she has a 10% conversion rate.
That's 40.
No, go ahead, help me with the numbers. 40 people paying $5K each one.
It's $200,000.
Out of a spend of
3,000.
what?
3,000.
3,000.
When can you start working for me?
And with that, Monica has a question.